And we're talking with Curt Kuntz, head coach of the Struthers Wildcats. 3-2 at the halfway point. Are you happy, Coach, so far this year?
I hate you saying that. I hate hearing that. Right now we're going to consider 0-0 because we always talk about it's not who we play. It's taking care of our business in those two games. I mean, if we remotely do what we need to do, we'll be sitting there at 5-0. So kind of turn a page and go start at 0-0 and look forward to the challenge tomorrow night.
Well, at least how was your team performing? Maybe that's a better way to ask you if they're halfway through the season. Are you happy with both sides of the ball?
The defense progressed a lot last week. They took a great step forward, and our offense is very
against Canfield.
Yeah, our offense is very, I guess, diverse. I think we have 48 first downs rushing and 49 passing. So you talk about wanting to be balanced, and some of it is maybe we can't just line up and maul people like we have in the past. So we just can't turn the ball over. Against Crestview, we turned it over 4 times and put it on the ground one at a time. When you do that, it's stopping yourself. So if we take care of the football, I think we can move the ball as much as we need to against anybody. And our defense is playing better. So, if we take care of what we need to, we feel confident, throughout the season.
How good is J.D. Hall? And you told me a little story about him off air. I don't know if that's appropriate for now, but
you wouldn't trade him for many people just because he's a competitor. He doesn't care, playing marbles or backyard basketball, whatever you're doing.
Your quarterback.
Yeah. He's a great kid on and off the field. And, the story we're talking about, he started for some as a freshman at wide receiver, outside linebacker, safety, wherever he needed him because he just wanted to get on the field. And Coach Julia came in and he's like, Curt, you're going to play him at quarterback in JV, and he's going to get better and he's going to be really good. You're going to win a lot of games with him down the road. I'm like, Coach, I want him on the field. Kid wants to be on the field. And Coach Lee didn't win a state championship by accident, so he knows one or two things, maybe one thing. But it really was tough for him, tough for me not having him on the field because not even his talent, his competitiveness. That's what you need in high school football. So we had to eat it for that year, but he kind of had the Cleveland Browns offensive line blocking for him with the JVs out there, and it really helped him progress with moving in a pocket, and it's no big deal because in JV football, when you're throwing the ball around, you're going to have some interesting situations you got to get yourself out of. So in hindsight, it was 100% out of the reason for his success this season.
So Muzzolino left, he was ready to be inserted right in.
When you lose a guy like Muzz, a generational player, I think Muzz is, just because of his competitiveness and his athleticism, and I love that kid. And so it's hard to lose a kid like that and just pencil him in. But we were happy with JD, and we kind of had the training wheels on for a while, probably longer than we probably should have with him because he was ready to do some other things, and I think it's showing this year.
Okay, defensively, how's your unit playing? You're happy with them so far?
Last week was the first time I think we played Struthers football where we're going to run to the ball, just get our best 11 guys that can run to the ball, and don't care what position you are, put 11 guys on a field, line up, and run to the ball and play physical. And I think we did that really well and got some big turnovers, and they put us in great situations all night, and we didn't capitalize on it a couple times.
Your young men I was talking to both said week 11. I guess that's something you're preaching to them.
Well, tomorrow night's week 11, so it is what it is. It's our week 11 game. So we
and against Poland.
Yeah, take care of what we need to against the team tomorrow night, and we're going to, take a great big step forward to not turn your equipment in after week 10.
So it's a must-win game for the Struthers Wildcats.
We consider last week a must-win game, and we didn't win. So, every game from here on out is a must-win. Looking at the points and who's left, in our schedule, it's definitely enough points if we, get Poland or Hubbard, and, Poland's this week. So let's go ahead and solidify it tomorrow night and go from there. What's the biggest challenge or thing that maybe keeps you up a little bit worrying about the Bulldogs? The power play, everybody in the Valley knows, is Dave. Dave is not a football play. Everybody can draw it up on the chalkboard. My wife can draw it up. My 9-year-old daughter can draw blocking down, kicking out. Dave's more of an attitude. They want to wear on you. They want to punt the ball, play field position, and then they're going to take a shot on the post. So it's not stopping a play. It's the whole philosophy of you make a mistake, they smile, get in 2 tight ends, and run the clock and just pound on you 2 yards, 4 yards, and then throw a post and kind of put you to sleep. So it's not any one play or any one person. It's just stopping the whole attitude, and that attitude wins a lot of football games in the Valley.
And of course, Ryan Williams is from the Trestle coaching tree, maybe I guess you can say. He has that same. You know what you're going to get when you play Poland.
Without a doubt. So it's line up, run to the football, and take care of it. Hand it to the official. Tomorrow night, whoever hands the ball to the official after every play, they're going to win. The team that turns the ball over is not going to be, not going to be a nice weekend.
Do you feel good about your offense against their defense?
I feel good. They do a lot of different looks. Their defensive linemen, they got some athletic defensive ends. They're tall, they're long, and they run to the ball. So they can do some different things, and they move around coverages a little bit. So if we don't make mistakes, I feel pretty confident.
When you look at how's it been in the past? I mean, is the rivalry, is it more than proximity, I guess, with you two?
Yeah, I mean, for a while, Struthers was playing down, playing LeBray and those schools, and then 7 years ago we came here, we started playing them, Highland, Canfield again, and we weren't at that level to start with, and I think we got there. But the thing, when Brungard was there, we scored late in the fourth quarter, went for two, and had an inadvertent whistle, and we should have been up by a point late in the game. And then I think the year after it, start the second half right here on the 1 yard line, kick returner made a great diving catch, caught the ball out of bounds on a kickoff, and we had to start there, and they punted and they scored. So meaning Dave is not a play, it's a philosophy. Wait till you make a mistake and capitalize on it. So every game I think but two have been, come down to one mistake. So we have to make plays early on so they can't just line up and wear on us and kind of make it a different type of game.
So will this be a low-scoring game?
I hope not for our offense. So we're going to...
You need the points to be up to get a victory.
I wanted 2 points on the board early and, just keep going and be aggressive the whole game and just do what we do on offense. I've been doing all year.
Great. Let me get your opinion on two other things. The Camel rivalry, I guess that's coming to an end. And also, there's some good things that may be going to happen around here, potentially.
The first thing is, in my interview, they said, what's your goal? I said, my goal is to have Camel drop us. And everybody looked at me like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
I said, it's one of the biggest, longest rivals in the area, and it's been balanced like the 20 years before. It's like 10 and 10. I said, I know if they drop us, that means we're doing something really well. Because if we're happy playing against, a smaller school, Division, 6 is your rival, then I can't say on camera, I don't know, the words I want to use, what Canfield, Poland, and Howland are going to do to us, because it ain't even close. So the first couple of years, the rival was there, with Mickey, and then Eddie came back and tried to work his tail off and this and that. But I think our program kind of went in one direction, and it's kind of bad for they're a prideful community, and there's people that live there.
As is here.
Yeah, that's why a rival, like we talked about earlier, why the Poland, why we rivals is it close, similar type of communities. But I think even more, Poland has a lot of people that move there. You don't move to Camel, you don't move to Struthers. It's the same families. The same names on a jersey haven't changed in 80 years. That's what makes it special. It's the same, Mussolinos and things like that. Arusi's, the names on the jerseys are the same ones. So, that brings something else to it. So that's sadly missed. And I say jokingly, I wanted them to drop us. I want to keep playing them just because of the two communities deserve it. Camel is a prideful community. They deserve it. And they should look at what they can do to help get those kids, get more kids on the field, more kids involved, and get their program up instead of dropping us and, moving on and playing down.
And then finally
the turf, it's...
Give us the spill.
Nothing's a done deal in my life until they start digging, but supposedly right after the season, the plans are in place to make this turf, and it looks good from the camera, but it really gets chewed up. I think we had 27 games on it before we played our second game, and it just can't take it. In our practice facility, we have our freshman team, 7th grade team, 8th grade team, and varsity all fighting over one field, and just gets chewed up. So like a day or a week like this, the ground's soft. So how much, can you work on speed outs and the precise passing game like that? So I'm happy for for practice. Games, I don't care. I'll play in a parking lot. The kids will play in gravel. But to get better at the little things in practice and not have a wasted day, it's going to be great for our whole community.
So you need some help from the community.
Yes, without a doubt. It's not done. I think the turf's going to be done, but then the track, if you go look on it, it's just falling apart. To play in today's game, we talked, I think, off the air, you got to be able to run. And we got to get our kids running on track, but they can't run on the way it is because there's just holes in it, and kid broke his foot in 2013 running. Just stepped in a hole on your track. You don't expect that to happen. So they got the 300 club. They're trying to get 300 people to donate and kind of put their name on a foot of the field. And I think it's a prideful community. Like I talked about, I think they'll make some sacrifices for the kids that we have now and the kids coming up in the future to help us get what we need for the kids.
Well, obviously you like it here. You're a teacher at Howell, they had an opening, and you're here, and you like what's going on in the community. I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe things are good for you here.
People say that I'm kind of off the rocker on some things, and they have to be right. I get in a car and drive, and whatever they pay me, I pay more in gas. So I pay them to let me come here. So I can't explain it other than there must be a couple screws loose. But I love Pete Perone, our superintendent. You don't find many guys who've done it. Like he stood over here on our sideline and he wore my hat. So when you have a guy like that, you can relate to a little bit differently, and change the commands and this and that. It's kind of different when he's walked in my shoes and he understands. He fought some of the same battles that he didn't win to get stuff done for the kids. So he's always a great advocate, and I couldn't ask for anything more from those guys. And you got tough kids. What more do you want? So other than driving a car that's older than every kid on my team, but
and a new field though, as long as we get that.
We get the field, and it's going to benefit us, for practice, keep kids healthy and all that type of stuff. So, grass is always greener sometimes, but
you like the grass, even though you want it to be turf.
Yeah. So it's going to be nice, just for all year. The spring baseball program. We might be the only town in the state that didn't have a baseball field. They go down to scene, but they're playing games. They can't get on it to practice. Nobody cares about getting better at baseball during the game. You got to practice. Wow. And we have some dedicated baseball coaches now that love what they do, but it's hard to get better when you're not practicing. So that's going to benefit them as much as anybody.
Well, I appreciate your time. You got a big opponent tomorrow. Good luck to you, and good luck to the rest of the season. And look for you in week 11, Curt.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks.